How you doing?
How damaging do you think this result is, given obviously the ambitions for the season?
I mean, it's not. I don't think the word damaging is the conversation. I think it's more. We're still chasing. We've got to chase, right? We know we're 7 points behind Arsenal. We have to chase. That's what we'll do. That's what our team are resilient enough to do. We can't play the game today. We have to be almost perfect if you come into the Emirates to win. And we weren't today. First half, 3 goals are not good enough. But second half was an improvement in performance. But yeah, I don't think it's... I mean, you'll use the word damaging, but we just got to chase, Emma. We've got to chase, and we will. We'll do everything we can in our power to try and chase.
I know this will be a difficult one for you to answer, and I know you've addressed it, obviously, the criticism from some of the fans in the past.
Yeah.
But obviously, given this result, are you concerned that obviously that criticism of yourself personally is only going to grow?
It's part and parcel of the job, Emma. It's part and parcel of the job. Some people love what you do, some people hate what you do. It's part and parcel of the job. But again, we would never stop people having an opinion. That's not what I'm here for. It's here to try and win for Manchester United. It's also here for us to continue to grow the team that's needed to win for Manchester United. I think that's really important. Look at the bench that Arsenal had today. You look at experience, you look at where they are in their careers. And it's a little bit different, right? We have lots of quality, but the depth is something that we want to continue to look at. But yeah, I mean, Emma, I'll never stop anybody's opinion, and I would just work tirelessly to get our team where we want them to be. Okay, mate? Right.
When we spoke in the week, you said that the plan will be somewhere in the middle of, going out and being Manchester United,
Yeah.
being on the front foot, and maybe trying to frustrate Arsenal a little bit. It looked early on like you were getting a lot of joy, sort of pressing them quite high.
Yeah.
But with the opportunities to press high, did you think they faded out of the game with the way the game played out, or where do you think those opportunities sort of went?
I think also, Amy, when you look at the physical makeup of our team, it's hard to press for 90 minutes. We don't have the abundance of physicality. But what we do is we have brains, and sometimes we sat in a 4-4-2 today and made it compact, and Arsenal played into that. It's when you lose the duel, Amy. I think there's too many duels lost today, if I'm being honest. One of the big differences which I know we'll fix is that when Arsenal went in with a physicality, they left the body on the player, whereas we were a little bit like trying to win the ball with our feet, and then when it skips away, they're running through you because they've put their body in the challenge. It sounds so simple, but it's so effective, because then they get the other side of you and open up a transition moment on the opposite side. Football is very clear in that. If you get the wrong side of an opponent, you have an overload. And in those duels, I felt that we were a little bit passive, and something we have to continue to do if you want to win games against an opponent in this stadium, for example.
Tough day for Gemma against Beth, who's on fire. Obviously, you're a little bit hands tied with options with fullback. Was there any temptation to maybe move Leia out or anything, or put Gemma centrally?
Yeah, I mean, there is that, of course, but the reality is when Maya's in our central for build as well is much more. When you have that composure, the ability to switch play, she's much more dangerous for us in that central area. Unfortunately, Leah was ill in the last couple of days, so she didn't even travel with the team. She came down separately, and that obviously ties our hands. Like we don't have that depth, and that's the game. You're playing against some of the most informed wingers in the league, and I'm not throwing Gemma. No, Gemma did all she can. Like Gemma will step up. She's honest. She's a really good defender, but I think we looked at that, but if you make too many changes across your back line, you lose rhythm anyway. So it was about last year we had super stability in the back line. This year's been a little bit up and down, which tells when you can see more goals that way.
Thank you.
Hello, mate.
Hi, Mark. I was just going to ask, did the setup of Arsenal kind of surprise you a little bit in terms of the personnel and kind of the directness of some of the Stina Blackstenius?
Yeah, not really. I think Arsenal, obviously we've played with Alessia, right? And we know Alessia. Alessia comes to feet, draws you in, but also allows players to get up against her. Stina will run behind you. And so what they were going to do was get to a point, switch it, and then be behind us. So it made sense for them to do that. And I think even direct play in this league still is difficult for anyone to deal with. You know, when I felt we could have been more direct in the first half. As soon as we got up to the middle of the field, just before the halfway line, we were still looking for these incisive passes where actually we got over McCabe's head, and all of a sudden Luthia is running against her. So I felt that we could have done that more from within the game. The idea was to do that before the game, but we didn't do it enough within the game. So I think it actually made sense why they played that. And obviously bring Alessia on when the spaces open up to come into the pocket. So I understand it. Okay.
Anyone else? Please.
Hi, Mark. An attendance record today from the WSL.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to be a part of that? And just some words on how good it is for the game? It's
fantastic for the game. I want it to continue to grow there. Hopefully, we play Old Trafford in the future. We want to, fill that stadium as well. Obviously not good for us today because we take the result that we do. But in the bigger context of women's football, fantastic. And I hope that it continues to grow.
Please.
Did you feel that own goal from Jay-Z kind of sapped the confidence out of the team?
I would.
Unlucky as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say sapped confidence. I'd say sapped energy. I think it gave momentum to Arsenal quickly. I felt we started the game pretty brightly. Like first to 8-10 minutes, we were okay. And then we concede the goal, and it's such a poor goal to concede. It's concentration. And that it's any coach in the game or anybody watching the game knows that you can't concede goals like that if you want to win at the Emirates. No chance. And so what it did then was it allowed their fullbacks to get into high spirits higher up, and then all of a sudden they could switch play. It calmed them down basically. And once they were calm, they could find decisions that they want to. But when it's tight and edgy, they might not find those. You're not as confident when it's edgy. So we just let them get their rhythm too quickly. And that's something we have to learn from as individuals as well, by the way. That has to be, we can structure, we can coach, we can do this, but actually we have to concentrate as individuals within those performances too.
Anyone else? Final one?
Hello, mate. No?
It's teams generally don't come back from 3 goals down.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, there was a sense that maybe the game had already gone by half time.
Mm-hmm.
So what the conversations were in the dressing room?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I don't think it's a boring one. It's actually at half time. The crazy thing is our players are like, we can score 3 goals. I think we scored in the last 21 appearances. We can score 3 goals. So there's that belief, and you can't take that belief out of anyone. So we believed that we could. We didn't end up doing that. That's part and parcel of the game. But I think it was, well, what do you want? Like, this game is obviously important in the moment, but it's also important for the future. Like, it's important to learn from it and push it forward into future success for Manchester United. So we have one where we've won here, and we've got one where we've lost here, but we scored 3 last year. So I've said this before, Manchester United are not a team that can just do damage limitation. We have to go and try and win the game, even with 3-0 down. So as unrealistic as it may be been, our players want that, and I like that about them. I love that about our Manchester United spirit.
And just to get the consolation at the end, but it must have been sort of confidence boost and just something for to show for 90 minutes of trying.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Luthia to get it as well. I thought Mary was excellent. She made some really key saves. But Luthia ran all day. And for her to get into the position to do so, it was good for her. There's a moment before that where obviously Rach goes through, D'Angelo saves it, and strange reason, we get a foul against us when we're just running through to the ball. That could have been another moment, and that would have made Arsenal really nervy at the end. But these are if, buts and maybes, and what we can do is work on what we can do next, which is after the international break, chase. That's what we're going to do. We will chase. Okay?
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. Go safe. Thank you.